Welcome back. Good morning, San Diego. San Diego home prices are on the rise and buyers are competing over fewer houses for sale. Founder of Jim Bottrell Real Estate Team of EXP joins us now. Mr. Bottrell, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning.
All right, so I thought when the mortgage rates went up that there would be a lowering. It seemed like that was inevitably brings the prices of homes down. And in some places maybe it did, but here in California, it's crazy, is it not?
Well, it did. It did bring housing prices down.
Well, I didn't see it in OB. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I know, but you weren't trying to buy a house right then. You weren't trying to sell your house right then.
Right.
No, we hit the high of the market back in June of last year, June 30th of last year, because we hit the market. We went down about 22%. But back on January 15th of this year, you may remember me being in this studio saying, there's a flash in the pan. We're seeing something we're not expecting. We're seeing housing prices tick up. We're seeing buyers come back. Nobody expected that. I called it a flash in the pan. I was wrong, as was everybody else. The market has been taking off. So the bottom of the market was actually on January 15th. So we've already hit that, and now we're going back up. We're in the beginning of the next big run.
So if you have a home, you're going to see some increase in value in your homestead.
You already have. It's already year to date. We're already up about 5%.
I mean, how do first-time home buyers get into this market? I mean, first of all, is it easy to get a loan? Is it easy to get a mortgage right now?
Well, yeah. I mean, the funny thing is most people say, I can't buy a house, I can't afford a house. And what they're actually doing is they're choosing not to buy. I have said this for a long time. There's very few people who actually can't buy a house. You may not be able to buy what you want for the same payment you have in rent. That's a given. I think we can all agree on that. But they can buy. What they're doing is they're choosing to rent. They're choosing to keep their short-term lifestyle. Like I said before, they're choosing to rent in North Park versus owning in La Mesa. They're choosing to rent the 4-bedroom versus owning the 3-bedroom. And then they're saying, well, it's because it's too expensive. No, you have to bite that bullet when you buy that very first house. Man, you and I have talked about this. When my rent was $825 and my first house was $2,600 a month. All right, this tripled it. And this is back in 1999. So that very first house you buy is not going to be your dream house. It's going to be a necessary stepping stone to your house. But the most important part about it is once you make that step and you become a homeowner, you're completely immune to everything else that happens. If interest rates go up, doesn't matter, you're immune to it. If rents go up, which they are, it doesn't matter, you're immune to it. If housing prices go up, you're not only immune to it, you're cheering. You're thinking, yeah, bring that on. Let's hit the bell at the top. Let's go, because they're getting wealthier while they sleep.
So the theme of this conversation then is bite the bullet and lower expectations, but get on the elevator. Get on the escalator.
You got to get on the escalator. So you got to get in the game, and then once you're in the game, that's how you start to create that wealth. All wealthy people, I mean, virtually all wealthy people, own real estate. I run first-time home buyer seminars all the time. One of the questions I always ask is, okay, put your hand in the air if you know somebody wealthy. Like, if it could be your parents, it could be your friend's parents, it could be a relative, whatever it is. Put your hand in the air. Okay, now keep your hand in the air if they're rent.
So what do you say?
Every hand drops.
What do you say to the guy who says, hey, listen, if you're disciplined and take the difference between what would a mortgage payment be and a rent payment, and you have the discipline to invest that you're going to be even or ahead of people who buy their homes and have to deal with the up costs and the maintenance and whatnot?
You talking about putting in the stock market?
Yeah.
I can tell you that exact story. So when I bought my first house, I paid, it was a $250,000 house. It was a mediocre home. It was fine. I owned that house for 2 years and a day. All right, and I did not expect to buy another house. All right, but we were driving home from Costco, and here's a guy holding a new home sign, right? And so we ended up buying that house. And then we sold that house, and we made $100,000. Right after closing costs and paying the money I borrowed from my dad back, because that's what all 20-something do.
Right.
I had $80,000. I bought my first house, and then a few months later, I realized, wow, I made so much money doing this. I'm going to buy a second house. So I put $35,000 into the payments of 2 houses, and then I took the remaining $45,000 and I put it in the stock market. Fast forward 15 years, that stock market, that $44,000 has now increased to about $82,000. So it's almost doubled, right? Made about 40 grand. The 2 houses have increased by $509,000.
That's how you answer that question.
That's how I answer that question. We have that scenario for all our first-time home buyers when we teach them the rent versus own, and we teach them the velocity money. It's like the rent versus own this is why wealthy people are wealthy. This is how you crack the code and become a wealthy person. We said this is in principle, then we flip it over and we show just a little snapshot of my story. It's not about me. Remember, I was just a young lieutenant when I bought that first house. I carried a 100-pound pack and a rifle. That's what I did for a living. I didn't have a real estate license. I didn't know anything about real estate, but I realized that I was making more passively owning real estate than I was going to work every day. And so it made sense that when I got out of the Marine Corps that I went into real estate because I love it so much.
Where can people find you?
Oh, just you can call 833-600-SOLD, 633-SOLD. Sorry about that. We use different numbers for different sources. We always track everything.
833-600-SOLD. You can find out, but lower your expectations and get on the escalator.
You just got to get on.
All right, Jim. Thank you so much for making time.